Hey guys, welcome back to our Besties podcast. I'm Jackie and this is my bestie Gemma.
This is her best life, and I feel like I have to come straight out of the gate with something here.
Yeah.
That is on my mind.
Yes.
That happened to me last night.
Go on.
And we're going to hope that Scott doesn't listen to this podcast episode.
How often does Scott listen?
I don't think he really listens anymore.
Yeah.
I think he did in the beginning to be like,
you know, you've really settled
supportive.
into relationship status. They don't bother listening.
Nah.
I know my exes, like my ex-husband, he never listened to me on the radio.
Yeah, because they're like, well,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you're doing your job, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know how we spoke about months ago, things like, what if like all the things we don't know we do in a relationship? Like we're like, you know how I was saying it's even hard when to go to the toilet and things like that.
The number twos, yeah.
Or even like saying, because we don't fart much.
Yeah.
And we were like, what if we fart when we're asleep and all these kind of things. And Scott said that I do snore on occasion.
Yeah.
Not very often, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Last night.
Yeah.
I woke up.
Yeah.
From the noise of a fart.
Was it your own?
I don't know whether it was definitely wasn't him.
Oh, well then it was you. I can deduct that it was you.
But I woke up and I was like, hang on, did that just happen or did I dream it? And I laid there for so long thinking.
Well, was he asleep?
I mean,
you can tell by their breathing.
That's what I was about to say. I think that it also woke me up.
So it must have been loud. It must have been quite some force behind it as well, because the physical sensation and the noise woke you up. And honestly, I do wonder about us though, Gemma, with not farting, because you know, there's trapped gas in there clearly if we're not farting regularly. So when it does come out, it's probably coming out extra hard and fast and loud.
And I laid there for like 20 minutes thinking, oh my God, what if it was? What if it was? But he didn't say anything this morning. He would never say anything anyway.
Well, this is what I was going to ask.
He's such a nice guy. He would never say anything. But then I just laid there thinking, please let that have been a dream. Please let that have been a dream.
It wasn't a dream. I can assure you it wasn't a dream. I think you've woken up from the sound of it. What I would love to know, though, when you say Scott would never say anything because obviously he wouldn't want you to be embarrassed.
Yeah. He also wouldn't care, I don't think.
I also think that if he wasn't asleep and heard it, you know how when you fake sleep breathing to make the other person think you're asleep?
I think that's what he was doing.
That's what I'm wondering. Did he do that?
He did. He did not long afterwards have a big like exhale.
Yeah. Like they're in a deep sleep. I've done that before. Oh, that's so cute.
It's not cute.
Now, what about the number two situation? At what point?
Well, we live together, so.
Yeah, like where do you go not to the ensuite when you want to do a number two?
Well, we've got 2 bathrooms in the house, so I
so
feel
do
like,
you go to the different bathroom?
Yeah, or I feel like I just use the ensuite. Maybe he's like
upstairs
or something.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You don't use the one then they're likely to use.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's the same.
He's the same.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman.
But it's the reality of life. Like we all go, but these are the types of things you have to figure out. You know, in my previous relationship, in my marriage, I mean, when you're with someone for so long, like I used to go to the toilet, number ones, in front of him.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, it doesn't take me long actually to do that. I'm very quick to do that. Like I might even accidentally do that by the 3rd date.
Well, you and I do it in front of each other.
Yeah, I do it on the phone.
Yeah,
like to me, number ones is nothing.
Yeah. So I have made a decision that I don't want to do that this time.
Ah, okay. So you're going to keep it like,
I want to keep it a little bit.
I get that. Like, because then it just becomes, you know,
yeah.
You're getting into that zone.
Yeah.
Where you don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you in a year I'll be like, we're weeing in front of him, I'm weeing in front of him. But yeah, I want to keep it something like, some boundaries.
Do you think like, you know, you have these great intentions, like when you get into this new fabulous relationship that you're in with Scott, I'm sure in your head you're thinking, I'm going to always make sure that I keep it exciting, the spark alive, make the effort for date nights, wear nice lingerie, like always, you know, keep the sexiness going.
Yes.
Do you think you will do that in 5 years? Do you reckon you'll still be doing that?
I think what I'm learning is that all those things you just said, like wearing the sexy lingerie, etc. I think that's what like society says we have to do to make ourselves feel sexy or to be sexy in a relationship. And what I'm realizing is that I probably would have done that in the past. In fact, I can remember that I went to great lengths one night, but my ex-husband, I don't think he'll mind me sharing this story. I thought it would be really great to surprise him when he came home from work, and I'd open the door this is before we had the kids. And I'd open the door and I'd be in the full like lingerie situation, suspenders, everything, right? All black. And that I was going to cook a meal and then have it all ready for him. So you
were going to do it all in suspenders.
Yes, I was already cooking the meal.
Yep, I had heels on.
Okay. And I was already cooking the meal. And thought then he'll arrive home and he'll be like, wow. And then we'll sit and we'll have dinner and I'll be in my lingerie and this is going to be great. That was all going good and well until the dinner wasn't going as I had planned, the cooking part. And I was starting to burn things. And then I told him to message me when he was at the front door, and he messaged me. And so I toddle off down the hallway with my heels on and I open the door and the smoke alarm's going off and there's smoke billowing out of the house. And it just ruined the whole thing.
Was ruined.
And then I felt so embarrassed. I thought, this is stupid. And he's like, what's going on?
Oh, no. Oh, but that's cute you put in that effort.
But I think, like, I don't think Scott would complain if I was wearing, like, nice lingerie. But I think what I've learned is what makes me feel sexy is not necessarily, like, those things. Like, I'm learning more about what makes me feel sexy. And
so what makes you feel sexy then? When it comes to underwear, like, so in my past relationships, I just gave up and wore Bridget Jones undies, and I don't want to do that again because I just think that doesn't make me feel sexy.
But do you anyway, like every day, normally I wear a G-string. Do you wear a G-string?
Nah, I'm starting to. I've started to get used to them.
Even that's a step up.
It is a step up. I agree. I'm getting used to it again.
So
it takes training.
Even that, like.
Just wearing a G-string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at night, most of the time to bed, I will wear like a singlet, like a black or a white, like rib singlet, and just like black briefs, like black undies, not proper like Bridget Jones ones. But I know that drives him crazy.
Yeah, he loves that.
He loves that.
Yeah.
And I love that. So I'm like, oh, wow, we've got synergy here. Yeah. How has this turned into a chat about what underwear we wear?
It's just that I think, you know, the reality is as much as men will love you for you, and you get those great guys that are green flags like Scott who are going to love you no matter what, men still at the end of the day are very visual people.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, is something I want to try and remember. I remember Miranda Kerr saying that. She said men are visual creatures. She always makes that effort, not because she's insecure. Just she's aware that that's how they are, you know. They are very visual. So, I don't know. I think for me, I just kind of dropped the ball majorly, but that's just because I gave up.
Do you know the other thing we do, which I never did previously, is we sleep naked on the nights we don't have the kids.
Yeah. Like I love that.
Just irrespective of any hanky-panky going on.
Exactly. It's just nice to have that body to skin contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another free tip for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's unpack what's happened in the last week. You've been on holiday.
Yeah, I went to the Gold Coast.
And I've been on a mini break too. You went to the Gold Coast. How was your mum?
Yeah, Mum's, you know, she's great. I love hanging out with Mum. Mum's very anxious. She's a very anxious person. You know this. We all know this. Mum is... thinks everything might kill me today. So I love her dearly. But I went with Kitty to the Gold Coast. We all hung out together. We were staying at a beautiful new hotel on the Gold Coast in Burleigh.
That looked amazing. Mondrian.
The Mondrian.
Oh my God, that looked amazing.
Oh, it was incredible. It really was. But going out on the balcony is an issue.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and by the way, the railing height must have changed. I think what restrictions they have in place with high rises now, because the railing height goes up to your head. Like it's no longer like chest level. It's up to your head.
Right.
So there's no possible way I'm going to fall over. No chance in hell. But still, I could not go close to the railing.
Bless her.
Kitty really wanted to get a massage.
Yeah.
Because she really had body aches, She was aching and sore, and I booked her in for a massage. But my mum talked us all out of it because she thought she might get sex trafficked or raped. And she even had me worried. In the end, I said, Kitty, you're not going. I'm just not going to risk you getting trafficked. I'm sorry.
Taste for at a fancy hotel.
I know.
Don't worry. I'll tell Kitty. Auntie Gemma will take you for a massage this week.
Anyway, Kitty's used to Nana, and it was good. And I had a pretty bad experience with Brazilian wax when I was there. So I had the best spray tan of my life, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I wish this woman was in Sydney.
Yeah.
But then I went to a different salon for a Brazilian wax.
Yeah.
This woman.
How can it go wrong?
How did it go wrong? Well, first of all, the wax was so hot.
Hot on your flaps, not
yes,
good.
and I thought, don't burn my flaps. Oh, no. I've had this happen before, right before an operation. So I think I did it myself, though, actually. I was to blame. I was having a...
You did a Brazilian yourself?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I bought the home kit.
I could never do that.
And no, so
You're amazing.
I don't know, because I don't know why I didn't get it professionally, but I knew the next day I was going to be naked on the table because they were doing the colonoscopy thing. It was for my endometriosis stuff. And I thought, well, I can't go, with a hairy bush with everyone looking at me, so I'll wax it.
Yeah.
So I waxed it, and it was too hot, and I burnt myself properly. So then I had all these really dark red patches. And then I thought, well, now they're going to think I have a disease. So I'm going to have to spray tan over this. So I spray tanned over it. And the red patches went from red to black. And it looked even worse. And I couldn't do anything after that. I just had to go with it.
The thing is they probably didn't even look. They were like, put the camera up.
Yeah.
Went to all that
They've
effort.
seen them a million. Anyway, so the wax was too hot. And so then she couldn't cool it down, which was lovely, but hers...
But it's on you by then.
It's on me by then. That one she ripped off, and then she tried to cool the rest of the wax down so she could continue doing the Brazilian. And, God love her, she wasn't actually, I didn't know this, her profession wasn't waxing. It was like Botox and injectables, and she just happened to have a pot there. Should anyone want it, but she never usually does it. And so then she cooled down the wax, but apparently if the wax isn't hot enough on you, it doesn't rip off. So you have to pick it off bit by bit.
You are joking.
Oh, babe, it was so painful.
Is the hair gone or not?
No, it's all attached to me. I'm just trying to pick it off little by little, like with the fingernail, like that's the whole thing became that. Anyway, I left there with still hair there, like little bit of hair, because I've had laser, so, there's enough there. So anyway, I went and got it done properly.
So it's taken 2 attempts now to get your Brazilian finished.
Yeah, and then Kitty wanted her legs waxed for the first time.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yes, this is a big deal. And I said to her, look, it's fine. It's going to hurt. If you really want to get them waxed, it is going to be painful, but it's over with and done.
Did you explain to her you're now committing to this for life?
She shaves anyway.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
She shaves. So she wanted to wax instead. Anyway, so she got her legs waxed at a different place, and then she broke out in the most awful hives I've ever seen in my life. Like her legs were just like lumps everywhere.
Oh, the poor thing. That's awful.
I know, bless her. So she's never getting that done again.
Imagine if that had happened to you after having the Brazilian and you'd had all hives down there.
Well, I actually had I had laser hair removal on my legs and exact same thing happened to me. I broke out in hives for 3 days and it was so itchy for 3 solid days. So I think we both must have some weird and histamine reaction to stuff like that.
When I go and get my Brazilian done, my hands get so sweaty. I feel like I'm going into war. Like I feel so stressed.
Yes.
And I am like, it's almost like I get anxiety about it in the lead up.
Why don't they give us gas? They should give us gas everywhere.
Actually give us gas.
Anything that's even slightly painful, give us gas. I go on my phone with the Brazilian wax.
What?
Yeah. So I lie there and I do online shopping to take my mind off it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not anywhere near being able to do that.
Oh, really?
I have the towel on.
Yeah.
And we see the same girl, the usual lady here. And I am clenching the towel and she knows how much I hate it. Oh. So she chats to me a lot to try and distract me.
I hate that chat because you're not really listening to them. You're when you're so stressed, you're just trying to keep up with it.
Good. Yep, the kids are good. Yeah,
but you're not actually engaging.
Yeah.
What, you couldn't just look on your phone and you must struggle harder than me then. Yeah. Where do you find the most painful?
In the inside.
At the top inside?
Yeah, well, usually they do like a line.
Yeah, that inside top.
Yes.
For me, it's the very top near the clitoris that's the most painful inside.
Yeah.
Inside top.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wondered if everyone was the same or not.
Oh God, this always happens. We chat about nothing to do with what we were going to talk about.
I know, we've got it. We want to talk.
Can I just tell you quickly about my trip?
By the way, we haven't talked about Gemma's trip yet, but we will get to the actual topic of today.
Mine will be very quick.
Yeah.
We went for a few days away up the north coast to Port Stephens. And
how good is Port Stephens, by the way?
Yeah, we had a great time. We really had a great time.
I loved Port Stephens.
And I really embraced my inner child because we did trampolining with the harness, and I was doing flips and everything.
Oh, how fun.
The kids were very impressed that Mummy was able to do flips. It's only because I was a gymnast when I was a kid.
Yes, you're so good at that. When we did trapeze, oh my God, were you impressive.
And then we went tobogganing.
What's tobogganing again?
When you sit on the thing and the stick's in between you and you're going fast down the silver.
Oh no, fuck that. Nah, I hate those things.
Oh, it was so fun. And it's a kilometre track, so you're going so fast.
Oh no, I would hate that.
I felt like I was in Cool Runnings,
Yeah.
I was having a great time.
Oh, you were a kid again.
It was really fun. And then we were meant to do a swim with the wild dolphins as a tour. And we went out and we were on the boat for 4 hours and there was no dolphins.
Stop it. Oh no, babe, I was raving about this to you, telling you how much you'd love it.
I was pretty much the only one. There were none.
We just saw so many. They were everywhere.
That's great for you because basically I was the only one that wasn't seasick. So the whole family were vomiting.
Oh, what a disaster.
And feeling sick. Scott did not vomit, but he was so seasick, so he had to stand up at the back.
Really? I wonder, was it rough?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the trip.
And when you do that and you don't see them, you don't get your money back, do you?
No, you get a voucher to come back and do it again.
Oh, that's good of them.
Yeah, so you can come back for round 2.
Are you going to do that?
Well, interestingly, I would like to do that, but all the kids were like,
never.
No, we're not doing that again because we got so sick. Will you?
Yeah, because I loved it.
Yeah. Okay, great.
For those that don't know, you swim under the hull of the boat and you hold on to this railing and you put your head underwater with a snorkel and the dolphins come in a pod and swim in front of you and beside you. It's such a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth trying again, I reckon.
So that was my trip. Okay, guys, it's ad time, so we're just going to have a super quick break here.
Guys, we have been talking about the car, the Omoda 9, which we love. And I've noticed there are a few other girls that are loving it. Did you see Jules Robinson from MAPS?
She's been talking about it too.
And someone I've followed for years, Emmy Lou, if you follow Emmy Lou, oh my God, she's so adorable and just so fabulous. Yeah. She's been loving the Omoda 9 as well.
She's another one of the women loving the Omoda 9. And we love it too. And the reason we love it is, first of all, what they've done is created a car that is specifically for women. Like that is their target market. And we love that so much because they've designed it with women in mind. And we've spoken about all the features. What we love is that they also are getting behind women like us in sponsoring this podcast, which we love. But they've really thought about every tiny detail, and it's such a slick looking car. And personally, I love that it's also a hybrid, so it's an EV as well.
Yes.
And I'm all for that. So I love that it can switch between the two.
I love that. Saving your money.
Yes, saving your money. And it goes very fast. It's like within a second.
I noticed that.
It's like you're launching.
Yeah. Like I'm, I was going to say an F1 driver and I cannot think of one. Wait a minute, it'll come to me. Let me think. Who's an F1 driver? Lewis Hamilton. There you go. Feel like Lewis Hamilton.
Yep. But it's even better than his car. It is. It's much better because it's such a smooth vehicle to drive, and we absolutely love it.
We do. And I love that a brand has gone, you know what? We are designing a car for women.
Yeah.
Like just own it and we lap it up because it is, like we've said, some of the features on it are so girly and cute, and the perfume and the, spa music when you're reversing. It's just like, I love that they're unashamedly, this is a female car.
Yeah.
And it's very progressive of them to do that. And that's why we love it so much.
And it's an SUV. It's absolutely stunning, whether you're a mum with the kids in the car or whether it's just for you. So make sure you Google the Omoda 9 from Jaecoo. Oh, and then also I had my Kundalini awakening. But you know what? We can talk about that another time if you're not interested.
Well, I had talked about my spiritual Kundalini awakening that I did and what happened to me. If you, you'll have to listen to a couple of episodes ago to hear that. But it was a really beautiful experience with Lindsay, who is an incredible healer.
Yes.
And brings up this energy, and, you can get visions of anything really, loved ones passing over, messages, things come up in your body that you would not expect. And I've recommended her to several of my friends who have been, and they've all been blown away. And I'd love to know how yours was. Yeah,
mine was extraordinary. I went with an open mind and also partly thinking, here's another thing that Jack's getting me to do.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll just give it a go. And I really decided I was just going to surrender to the process. At the end of the day, I thought I'll just get an hour-long deep meditation if nothing happens.
That's the best attitude to go in with, is no expectation, just surrender.
Yeah. And that's what Lindsay said. And so I laid down, and then she starts like the sound, the music, the sound healing, I'm not quite sure what to call it, where she's playing this incredible music that it really is, as you go on the journey, it feels like it's all around you, the music, and it's kind of engulfing you, and it takes you on different emotional journeys, I found.
I absolutely agree that things come up based on the music, and the music is a big part of the healing process.
And I did have a beautiful moment actually where both my grandmothers came to me at the same time. They were together. Now, one of my grandmothers died before I was born. So she was there, and she was with my other grandma, who I was incredibly close to, who really shaped me a lot as a woman. And they were together, and they were basically both apologizing to me for the way that they parented their children, my mum and dad, in the sense that I think it's also very generational, like maybe not necessarily very affectionate, quite cold. And they were basically apologizing to me that I dealt with the consequences of that. But then they mainly spoke to me about how proud they were of me, that I've broken the pattern and that I'm such an amazing mum. And I was laying there, like it was so beautiful. I had tears streaming down my face with my eyes closed. And I was having moments where like I was jolting, like what how you said you had.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
It was like a involuntary convulsing.
Yeah. And I was having something similar to that. And it was really beautiful because they were just saying how proud they were of me, of the mother that I am. And as you know, that means so much to me. And that they said I've broken the generational, like I'm not passing that on to my children.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful. But then it was almost like, and then they started to go and I was like, don't go. Like, I want you to stay with me. Like it was only fleeting, it felt like, that they were with me. But they were just like, we've never gone. We've never left you. My main grandmother was like, I'm always with you. It's okay. I'm going to come back. I'm always around you. And so for me, that was such a beautiful, incredible moment that it was worth it. That whole thing was worth it for me just for that message.
Yes.
And it was really stunning to hear that from them. And then when I did kind of come out of it, and she brings you out of it, she had said that the session would go for like an hour. So I felt like I'd probably been laying there for about 45 minutes because I'd had a chat to her prior. And when I came out of it, I'd been like under, so to speak, for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. So it was extraordinary. And we are actually in the process of trying to set up possibly doing it as a session for our besties community. We're chatting to Lindsay about that because it is a really beautiful thing to experience. We'd love for others to be able to do it too.
I love that you experienced something very similar to me, and that feeling of them not wanting them to go, because it was such a beautiful feeling when they were there, saying that you've broken that ancestral, whatever you call it, curse. I don't think it's a curse. It's just a pattern, that's come through the our ancestors, of whether it's relationships with men or parenting or, whatever that may be. And that feeling just feels so overwhelming in that session when you do get that. It's hard to explain, isn't it?
It really
but it's
is.
just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'd love for our community to experience that. So that is something we're currently working on.
So thank you for awakening my Kundalini.
Yes, it sounded like it did awaken.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I sent you something this morning, actually, that I really wanted to talk about on the podcast. And I'm just going to grab it because it actually came up on my Instagram. And I read it and I thought, wow, this really spoke to me. And I thought it was worthy of a discussion. And it says, most people have never been in love. The difference between real love and the things we call love. And I wanted to read some of it, and we can kind of stop down and talk about what resonated with us on this one.
Because we really both felt quite powerfully drawn to this.
We did.
These comments.
Yeah. And I think this whole thing is just so true, and might be quite, what's the word? Confronting, actually. For some people, to realise
that maybe they're not actually in love.
They haven't or aren't in love. So the illusion of love is the first page that's titled. Most people have never actually been in love. They've been in projection, in need, fantasy, obligation, in chemistry and trauma fusion and mirror chasing, but definitely not in love. Because real love, the sovereign soul kind, is rare as rare. Because tragically, most of us were raised in paradigms that never showed us how to receive it. So obviously we talk a lot on, this podcast about our wounds from childhood, whether it was, a lack of nurturing in childhood from parents, whether it was abandonment. We've all got wounds to some degree. A lot of people have grown up in wonderful families. But we'll still have a wound here or there, right? That kind of, might be reflected in your adult relationships. So it goes on to say, being in love is not the same as attachment, not the same as projection, and not the same as needing someone to stabilize you or mirror back a version of yourself you can tolerate. Most of what people call love is just chemistry, survival patterns, hormonal fusion, trauma mirroring, convenience, or the high of being wanted. We are conditioned to settle for attachment that looks like devotion. We call it love when someone chooses us, even if it costs us our truth. We call it love when someone stays, even if we have to perform to keep them close. We call it love when someone wants us, even if we couldn't be fully ourselves in their presence. We mistake intensity for intimacy and possession for passion, familiarity for forever. But real love is none of those things. Real love is about being seen and known. It's about being met in fullness without having to contort.
Can we stop there?
Yeah,
for a
let's
sec?
stop on that one because that one's a really big
that
one.
one really resonated with me because I thought how many times I have like confused intensity for intimacy.
Yes.
And we've spoken about this before, but really that line is so powerful to me and simple. And the line about the basically compromising who you are.
Yes. So basically you're having to
perform
to keep
them.
Yes.
Yeah. And if we couldn't be fully ourselves in their presence.
That's right.
That to me was like really a light bulb moment.
That is.
And not to take away from any previous relationships that I've had, but that really was because at the end of the day, that's on you. If you've made that choice, which clearly I have in previous relationships.
But you didn't know at the time.
I didn't know.
No.
But I wasn't fully being myself in their presence.
Correct.
And this really clicked for me because I felt like I've been guilty of all of those things and I have called it love.
Yes.
And I think that's why when people do then get into relationships where it feels different or it's a green flag relationship, whatever you want to call it, that because you're surrendering and you're fully being yourself, there's no falseness about that intimacy because you're your true self and the other person is their true self.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't want to stop down too long.
Real connection and love builds.
Yeah.
And I think, because I've been in even situationships where so quickly I have been absolutely convinced that I am so in love with this person. I haven't loved anyone as much as I love this person. And I haven't known them that long or built that connection where I've been truly myself.
Yeah.
So what that is attachment and fear of abandonment. And also even if I feel seen, if I feel loved or not even loved, but if I've been given that attention by someone I desire, I think, we can really, really confuse that attachment and high chemistry with convincing ourselves we're so in love with that person.
Yeah.
When real love is built over time.
Yes.
And so I think, I've always been, in the past, I've always thought, how can I be so in love with this person so quickly? But I am, you couldn't have told me otherwise at the time.
Yeah.
So it goes on to say the relationship is a mirror. And often what we mistake for love is the intoxication of being mirrored. So many confuse recognition for love because what feels like being seen for the first time can feel electric. So when they give you that attention and they give you that adoration in the beginning, it can feel so electric. But not every mirror is meant to hold us forever. Some show us who we are only so we can return to ourselves. Real love goes beyond the initial flash of resonance. It roots and it remains. It refines us and it makes room for your soul to keep becoming. It goes on to say that many of us were raised inside frameworks that taught us that love is sacrifice, which is so true, especially for women. It's like we must sacrifice ourselves and give and give. That's what love is. And that to love someone is to lay yourself down and carry their burdens and turn the other cheek and to give endlessly. Love in this paradigm becomes martyrdom, not love.
Yes.
Especially for women, love was framed as an act of self-erasure, of yielding, submitting, staying quiet, forgiving endlessly, even in the face of mistreatment or misalignment. This is the exact trap that keeps so many women dutifully bound in marriages that are eating her from the inside out, and she believes that to be in integrity is to stay. It is like we I guess have grown up believing that love is all about sacrifice and giving to the other. But if you're not receiving that in return, which a lot of the time you aren't in certain relationships, then that again is not love.
Yes, that's not love. And you're also learning to accept that because that's what the norm is.
Yes, that's right.
To society.
Yeah. And then it goes on. To actually be in love is to experience a current moving through you that is not manufactured or coerced. It's when your soul recognizes another and feels safe enough to open and not collapse, not contort, not pretend. It is when affection, attraction, and devotion arise naturally from coherence rather than from desperation or unconscious needs. It feels like aliveness without distortion, like two flames burning together without consuming one another. It feels like not having to shrink or perform, but expanding into more of who you are because of the presence of the other. Real love does not need to possess, persuade, or overpower. It doesn't try to shape your path or keep you small so you'll stay. And it doesn't use guilt or longing to hook you. And then lastly, we were programmed to believe that being chosen by a man would complete us. But if you still need a man to complete you, you won't call in love, you'll call in a lesson. Oh, God, isn't that the truth?
We've had lots of those.
We've had to come to that point, Gemma and I, and it took us years to get there, that when we finally stopped learning the lessons and didn't need a man because we fulfilled all those needs within ourselves rather than needing that from somebody else, particularly a man, a relationship, it is only then you will call in real love.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'll just keep sending you another person who will show you
the next lesson.
That kind of longing doesn't magnetize love. It attracts distortion, a mirror of your unmet needs, not a partner. It might feel fated at first, but it will collapse under weight over time. And the women who stay long after the lesson is over, that's where the erosion takes place. Someone has to be brave enough to declare the contract over. Most don't because of the cultural programming of forever.
Yeah.
Real love won't arrive to save or crown your worthiness. It will arrive because you're already whole alone.
Oh, what a beautiful summary that is.
Isn't
and I
it?
feel like we have been on that exact journey.
Yes.
And I know so many women listening would have done the same thing or maybe are on that journey. But you have to learn all of the lessons. But then it feels like you start to think, well, was I ever truly in love before? Like when you put that lens over.
You do. You go, well, hang on. Was I in, a relationship where I didn't distort, contort, conform, people please, overgive, any of those things, If you were doing any of those things often, you do. It makes that whole thing makes you question, what was that? Was that attachment? Was that a fear of, abandonment, of not being chosen? Was it all those wounds at play, distorting the idea of what you think love is?
And I think it comes down to the line we've heard so many times is there's a difference between loving someone and being in love.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't mean that we haven't loved
Of course.
previous partners.
Yeah.
But when you feel like you're giving all of that love and you're not necessarily receiving that love in return in abundance for the person you are exactly as you are, because that is true love to me.
Yeah.
And that is what creates the feeling of being in love. And look, relationships as time goes on, they change. Like
Yes.
there's no denying that.
Yes.
And I think we have to be really mindful that, the longer you're with someone, you do get comfortable with certain things. but it doesn't mean that comfortability means sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because I still think with the right partner, if you are comfortable with each other and you're truly in love with each other, your entire being continues to light up.
Yes.
And I know that it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, but I do think that when you're in love with someone, it stands the test of time.
Yeah, that's right. And of course you're going to make sacrifices because you love that person, but they're making the same sacrifices for you. And I think it goes to this whole line here where it says it feels like not having to shrink or perform, but expanding into more of who you are because of the presence of the other. Yeah. And I think that's it in a nutshell. It's like, are you expanding or are you shrinking?
Yeah.
That's it. That's your answer.
And it comes back to what we were discussing last week or the few weeks before around are you stagnant?
Yeah.
Or
are you generative?
Yeah.
Are you choosing one or the other?
Yeah.
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 I actually read that to Scott this morning, and I said to him, like, I didn't give him any context to it. I just said, I want to read something to you, and what do you think of this? And he said, I feel like that with you. Like, I feel like you make me feel like you love me for all that I am. And he said, and I've shown all my vulnerabilities, and I am the most myself that I have ever been.
Yeah.
And I feel that way too. And I think, like, I know I've never been like this with any previous partner.
Yeah.
And I think because we're both we came together at a stage where we were both really complete as individuals.
Yes.
And comfortable, truly comfortable with who we are.
But see, I don't think you would have been brought together until you both were at that place. I genuinely believe you do not bring in that person until both of you are ready.
Yeah.
Because
doesn't mean you won't bring people in.
Oh, you'll bring people in.
Yeah, you'll bring people in.
You'll bring people in, but like it said, you'll only bring in what if you haven't learnt the lessons or given yourself, if you aren't at that place of not needing someone because you're whole within, you will bring in the right. You'll bring in the love. And if you aren't, yes, you'll bring in people, but there'll be a lesson again until you learn the lessons.
Yeah.
And I just think that is so, so true. I never understood any of this stuff 3 years ago.
Yeah, me either.
I knew nothing. I didn't even know what a boundary meant. I didn't know what mirroring meant. I didn't know any of this. I was so blind to all of this stuff. And now that I have lived and experienced and practiced this for 3 years, there is no doubt in my mind that this is real. You don't get that person until you are whole within.
Yeah.
Some might be lucky and they do. I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule, but I don't believe you get that love that you've got with Scott until you are whole. And he needed to be whole too, for that to work.
And I think people that find it in life, they can find it earlier in life. And maybe they don't have as many issues to work through.
We had loads of issues, guys.
We had a lot of issues, it turned out.
It's like we went to university for 3 years. We were studying that much and trying to heal them all.
The healing journey.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't necessarily have the same number of issues that we've had to go through.
Everyone has such different issues and wounds, and some have way more than others and some have not many at all.
And I think the difference is owning those issues and then actually doing the work to heal them, because for so many years you can suppress those issues.
Well,
And we've spoken about this before, but I think until you own those issues, you're not being your true self.
You're not.
So that's like step one. And by the way, ours took years, but that doesn't mean everyone else's would take years.
Well, I've got to say, even realizing you have a certain wound can sometimes, you can be in denial for a long time, like I was. Like my therapist kept saying, you have a really strong defectiveness in you where you don't think you're good enough and you're unlovable. And I was like, I am good. Like, I don't think that about myself. I don't think I'm unlovable. I can't tell you like how much I had suppressed that until it bubbled up. And when it bubbled up, oh my God, did it bubble up? And it was crazy.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating how we can bury that stuff so deep that there is not even a conscious thought of it being a problem until you tap into it and realize, shit, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are listening to this right now going, shit, am I in love or not in love?
Oh, sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys, if we've thrown a grenade for you to deal with this week.
Yeah. It's easy to confuse love, isn't it? That was an eye opener for me reading that this morning. So anyway, that's why I wanted to bring it up. But thanks for joining us on our podcast this week, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back again next week.
And as always, please go find your joy.